Hey guys, welcome back to That's Mr. Camper. I haven't made a Gears video in quite a while, and to be honest with you, I've been fairly bored playing the multiplayer, and Dying Light is out right now, and I've been playing the crap out of that, but, you know, everything gets bored, and I always seem to come back to Gears of War, and I was thinking today, why do I always come back and play Gears of War? When all else fails, all the games that I thought were going to be great, and I buy this and buy that, nothing seems to have the longevity that Gears of War has had for me. And I was really trying to figure that out. And I think I finally figured out why I like Gears of War better and has the grip and the sustaining power over me that none of the other games that I played. And I've played a shitload of games. Call of Duty, I played Halo, I played just about every single genre of game. Sonic, I'm that old, yes. Mario, yes. I played all of those. I thought those were great. But I always seem to come back to Gears of War 1, 2, and 3. Judgment, you know my feelings if you've ever watched any of my videos on that. But I finally figured it out. I have finally figured out why I like Gears of War the best. It is my favorite, bar none. It takes up the top 5 spots for me. I know there's only 3 games that I like from Gears of War, but it takes up the top 5 spots. I can name a couple twice if I want to because it's my video. And that's the story of Gears of War. I like the blood and the guts, and not everything's fair and not everything works out. It paints a story of what I feel most closely resembles real life if something were to happen. The unfairness of it. And the fairness of it, actually. Marcus gets his revenge at the end. Sorry. Spoiler alert, he does. But he also loses at the end, too. He finally finds his dad after so many years. And his dad gets taken away to help his son live and go on and prosper. That's the reason why he did it. He saved the world, basically, if you want to put it up to that. But He lost his dad, and he also got to kill the person responsible for killing him, his father, and killing Dom, which the mirror bitch. And every single person that I can think of, and I've really been trying to think of people that did not play a role in Gears of War and were filler characters. Yes, there are some filler characters, but for the most part, the main characters were really people you actually gave it 2 squirts of piss about. Dom, you cared about Cole, you cared about Baird until he got into Judgment, you cared about what happened to Colonel Hoffman, you cared what happened to these characters, and I got to thinking, when Gears of War 4 comes out, are they going to be able to create that kind of feeling again? And that's what really worries me about Gears of War 4. Are they going to be able to create something that 1, 2, and 3 were able to provide and deliver a story that's not a love festival and something where guys and girls can relate to and keep it going for the next couple of Gears of War? Are they going to be able to create a story that you're going to care about in Gears of War 4? And to be honest with you perfectly, I don't know. I don't have any idea whether they're going to be able to come out with a story that was as good as 1, 2, or 3. Now, I have my preferences on the campaigns. Don't get me wrong, I do. But I like playing all 3 of the campaigns, and I like the story and the premise in all 3 campaigns. There's some that I like. I'm not going to get into controversy of which one I like the best. Gears 1. I liked its story the best because it was the darkest, and I'm just a twisted individual like that, if you wanted to know what my favorite was. And that was it. So I want them to come out with a new story. I want them to come out with something that is entertaining, that's gritty, and I'm trying to think and rack my brain of how they can come out with something that is going to be a draw for me years down the road, not just for this game. Anybody can create a one-hit wonder. Not anybody, but it's a lot easier to create a one-hit wonder than a 10-game series or a 6-game or a dynasty, if you will. When it comes to games, there's very rare that it comes out that you get a game that has the staying power of Halo or COD or Mario or those. You're talking the super elite. And my question is to you guys is Gears of War, I know that they are an elite game. They are a AAA title. Bam, they've got props for that. Yes, I will play Gears of War 3 for as long as it is around and able to play. If they come out with a remastered version, I'll be buying that. Black Tusk, I'll be buying that. But until that happens, we're left with the premise of Gears of War 4 coming out and the story being something that you're going to be invested in. And I think long after the multiplayer and long after Horde mode and Beast mode and Overrun and all those game types, those behind the scenes multiplayer game types have faded into oblivion, as it were, the staying power of the story is what people remember and what attaches them to the next Gears of War game. So my question, Black Tusk Studios, are you going to be able to come out with a story after you've killed all the Locusts off and the Lambent off, air quotes here? Are you going to be able to come out with a game that I, a Gears of War fanboy, if you want to call me, is going to make me buy Gears of War 5 and 6 and 7 and 8? Are you going to be able to do that? And if I'm honest with myself, my bar is pretty freaking high. And if your bar is not pretty freaking high on the way that you think this game ought to play out, then I don't know if you're just a multiplayer person, because I'm not just a multiplayer person. I want to see a story. And that was my biggest problem with Destiny. That's the reason why I couldn't play that game. It wasn't the grind. I've grinded games forever. That does not bother me. But I want to care about who I'm grinding through this game for. I don't want to see some dude that's riding a bike that goes around and collects plants and engrams and sits in front of a cave for 2 weeks to get something that he wants. I want to be personally and mentally invested in what's going on with Marcus Phoenix or Dom or Hoffman or Baird or Cole, and that relates to my biggest problem with Judgment there, that it really didn't have anything that really tied me to the characters. Yes, I knew what they were and what they did, but the sub-characters, there was no real personal connection with any of those guys. And I want to know what Gears of War 4 means to you. Is it, you think that, do you care about the story? I do, but do you? And if you look back at Gears of War 1, 2, and 3, isn't it that really tied you to these games and this series and made you buy another game? It did for me. I wonder if it did for you. I hope you enjoy this little retrospect on That's Mr. Camper. Like, subscribe if you haven't. I hope y'all are having a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this video. And we'll see you guys later, and happy Gears.